In this video, I'm going to be talking about, and then at the end showing you, one of the absolute most powerful ways to change everything. Your subconscious mind, your emotions, the responses in your body, and therefore reality creation in your life. I'm going to be showing you a very, very powerful method to use your imagination to go back into your past and change what happened so that it's something different, so that that something different now becomes a reality in your present and it starts to create something new in your future. My name's Adam. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Before we dive in for today, make sure to get my new ebook. It's called From Darkness to Light, How to Drastically Change the Course of Your Life. It's a very, very powerful step-by-step guide on going from, the enough is enough and it's time to make a shift point, all the way through the healing process, becoming the new self, and a lot of other things. There's a link in the description below. Okay, so one of the most, if not the only tool any of us have is our imagination. And our imagination can be used in every which way possible. We are, people like to say that we're God's special little creatures and we're the most advanced creatures that ever existed. I personally don't agree with that. I think the animals and the plants are far more evolved than most humans. But I do think that we have the potential to be really amazing creatures. And some of us, albeit a small percentage of us, are doing the work to do that. If you're watching, I imagine you're probably one of those people. If you turn on the news, you'll see all the ones that aren't. Okay, so the thing, though, to understand is that we are both animals and creators. We have both the capacity to be, your primitive, just sort of mammalian kind of animal, as I am repeating myself, and these immensely powerful, imaginative, intelligent, creator, spiritual beings. The trick is, in order to access the creator, we have to first heal the animal. So many of us are running around in so much trauma from a lifetime full of it, with these memories that we've stored in our body. And because we have all these memories and this energy that is not discharged from our nervous system and these belief systems we've inherited because of it, we're using the creator part of our imagination unconsciously to just keep recreating the trauma patterns. I see this all the time in my own life, in my clients' lives. We will draw in the same patterns, the same people over and over again. I mean, it doesn't matter what you do if you don't clear these patterns from your history. They just keep happening. You can quit your job, you can get a divorce because the person that you're married to is this particular type of person that was kind of like your father. You can sell all your belongings, you can move 3,000 miles away, you can start over at a new job and a new career in a new place, in a new apartment, in a new house with new friends. You'll send out a resume, 300 of them, you'll get 10 offers, you'll pick the one that feels exactly right. 3 weeks into the job, you find out your new boss is exactly like your old boss because you co-created, manifested, attracted the same pattern. So the way we get out of this is to begin to harmonize the imagination with the nervous system. And one of the first steps to doing this is learning how to connect our minds with our emotions. Because when you connect to your emotions, it automatically starts to bring you into your body. And you can do this if you just say a feeling statement like, I am angry that, whatever, just I'm angry that I'm struggling financially. And when you say that, if you have a little bit of body awareness, you can kind of feel yourself feel it, instead of when you tell a story like, I went to the store today and there were 3 people in line and it was so frustrating that they wouldn't get out of my way and I could we start to tell a story like that. That's all very mental. There's not a lot of an emotional connection to the story. We might be angry, but we're not stopping and owning the anger. So one of the first ways to really align the creator, the imagination part of us with our nervous system is to connect our thoughts and feelings. And that can be by using feeling statements that allow us to sort of front load what we're saying with our feeling state. I feel sad right now. Or I feel sad right now because, and then you state the reason, because the mind has a reason, but it's now connected to the emotion instead of your emotions over here and your thoughts over here. And the more we do this, the more we release the emotional energy and the somatic sort of fight, flight, freeze responses in our body, the more we clear the path for our imaginations to create in the moment without a backlog of trauma imprinting upon our creations, if that makes sense. Now, something that you can do to change your whole state of existence is to start to experiment with going back into your own past and rewriting what happened. You can call this reframing. It is reframing, but it's not just reframing by telling a different story in your mind. The trick is to really deeply connect to how you felt in those particular moments when a particular thing happened, and to imagine the scenario that you would have wanted to have happened and feel that change, because the body doesn't know the difference between reality and imagination. If you believe there's a bear outside your front door, or if there is a bear outside your front door, if you think there is one, whether there is or not, you're going to have the exact same responses until you find out it's there or it's not there. But when you use your imagination in the past, you can reprogram the pattern that is stuck in your nervous system by basically pretending something else happened. You could be like, well, isn't that delusional? No, it's not, because on some level, whatever story you're telling is just one of an infinite number of stories that you can tell. You can say that your father was super abusive to you because he was narcissistic and he tore you down every single day of your life. And on some level, that's true. But your father, if you choose to see it this way, was also teaching you how to deeply love yourself, because he was making you lift the muscle of learning how to provide the love to yourself without any support from him. And when you tell that story and it becomes powerful enough, that's what happens in your body. And when you get into like esoteric sort of things, your father may well be like a true soulmate that signed up in this life to treat you like shit because you wanted to learn that lesson. There's no end to the stories that we can tell or the validity of truth to them, because on some level, all truth, there is objective truth on one level, but on another level, it's all sort of subjective. So here's a little bit of an exercise you can do. If you find something from your past that's still with you, it's still bothering you, which we all have. Say you were getting yelled at by someone. Say you got yelled at a lot by a parental figure. And you might want to meditate a little bit. It's good to take like a moment and sit and kind of feel present with your nervous system and ask yourself, where in your body do you feel this particular emotion? And just notice. You might feel a sharp pain in your heart, in your stomach, in your shoulder. You might not even fully feel it. You'll just be like, oh, it's here in my leg. Trust that. Trust just the intuitive response to where that is. And then go back into the memory of whatever it was that happened while you're feeling the energy. And before you change the pattern, first address what it is that what you're actually feeling, right? So I feel scared. I feel scared because he's yelling at me, or I feel angry because he's yelling at me and I want to, what is it that you wanted? I wanted to fight back. I wanted to yell back. And let yourself feel that. Let yourself go back into the moment and feel what it is that you felt and do whatever it was that you wanted to do. When we get stuck in the past, it's because there was a desire or a want that didn't get met. And the more of these we have, the harder time we will have figuring out what we want to do in our life, because we don't know how to feel what we want. So feel the negative or so-called negative emotion that you felt from this experience. Someone was yelling at you. You felt afraid. State that. I am afraid that this. I am angry that this. And just kind of notice if you tense up, notice if your legs get tight, notice if you feel like you wanted to hit someone, and just play with your body and let it do that. And then, what did you want to do? I wanted to hit him. I wanted to run away. And use your imagination to actually do that. And then notice what happens with the sensations in your body. Notice if any energy moves, if it leaves, if it discharges, if there's tightness somewhere else. And you start to track these different sensations and work with them just through feeling what they are and stating what it is that you felt or wanted. Okay? And then play with what is it that you would have wanted to happen in the ideal scenario. And you can start here if you want, but a lot of times you want to kind of excavate the negative patterns, but sometimes you can just bring in a positive pattern and it will excavate the negative. So it might be, I wanted my father to tell me that he loved me. I wanted my father to give me a really big hug. I wanted my father to compliment my artwork or whatever it is. And imagine, and maybe you have a hard time doing this because you still have a lot of anger at your father. If you do, that's okay. You don't have to force it, but play with it. Play with what happens when you actually imagine that scenario. And don't just do it in your head. Make sure you can feel in your body and in your emotions what that would feel like, and just sit with it. And you can have him say whatever it is you wanted him to say. Maybe you wanted him to apologize. You wanted him to say, listen, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I was such an asshole. It wasn't you. It really wasn't you. I had a horrible childhood. I was really angry. I never got time to work out my own stuff in my life. I wasn't even mad at you. I was mad at myself because I wanted to be an artist and I didn't have the courage to do it, and I was taking it out on you. Because that's actually probably true. You're not even making that up. You're just saying what it was that he couldn't say. You can also say something that maybe he wouldn't have said. But it's endless. And see, when you do this, what you're doing is you're using your imagination to take all of your power back. Because on some level, we truly are the creators of everything. We don't even really want our parents' love. We just want love. We want our own love from very deep inside ourselves, from the universe, from the earth, etc. And of course, there's a part of your human that did want your parents' love. Of course there is too, but on a high enough level, we don't really care where it comes from. We just want to feel really loved. And that's how much power you have as a creator. As a creator, when you start to use your imagination on this scale, you can reprogram, and it's not easy to do. You might need to get someone to help you, but we can reprogram everything. We can create a past that starts to build all of the patterns that we never had. And as we do that, we change our present. And as we do that, we change our future, because they all exist at the same time. So leave some comments on what you think of this. Leave some comments if this works for you. If you have any questions, please let me know. Again, make sure to get my ebook. It's a really, really powerful multidimensional book that will help you shift on many, many levels just from reading it. But there's a lot of good exercises and action steps and all kinds of stuff in there. Other than that, I appreciate you all very much. Until next time, and bye-bye.